On May 2nd, 2023, Barcelona tied the record for most clean sheets in a single season in the 21st century, equaling Jose Mourinho's Chelsea with a ridiculous total of 25. Not only is that the most clean sheets in La Liga by a landslide, it's also the highest clean sheet total across all 5 major league leaders in Europe, which means that Barcelona currently have the best statistical defense on earth. But the Great Wall of Barca is guarded by an unfamiliar face, as well as some others that need reintroducing. And so today we'll be taking a look at Xavi's back line, their skillful midfield, and the supporting cast on offense, as we break down how Xavi's Barcelona shut out La Liga. Welcome back, guys. You're watching the Sideline Starters, and my name is Andy, first team all sideline. I just wanted to give a big thanks to everyone for the support lately. You guys have been killing it, so keep smashing the like button to help us grow. And once you've done that, let's get started. If we think back to Barcelona's golden era during Pep Guardiola's tenure, nothing was more crucial to their success than the strength of their youth academy, La Masia. The Spanish term for farmhouse is Barcelona's world-renowned youth investment program responsible for developing the likes of Lionel Messi, Andres Iniesta, and the Blaugrana's current manager Xavi Hernandez. So it's only natural that Xavi thought it was time to reinstill this forgotten philosophy. And luckily for him, La Masia's latest product is currently the frontrunner for best young defender in the world. We're talking about 19-year-old left-back Alejandro Balde. The 2000s baby was born in 2003 and joined La Masia at the age of 8. He made his first professional appearance 10 years later in the Champions League as Jordi Alba's replacement. And the rest is history. Alejandro Balde has blossomed into one of football's most electric defenders, and at just 19 years old can proudly say he's played a crucial part in the title-winning campaign, as the youngsters played the single most minutes out of any defender in the Barcelona squad, a feat rarely if ever accomplished by a player so young. But that's what makes Barcelona so special, the willingness of their coaching staff to give young players a chance that Balde has taken and ran with the entire year thanks to his exceptional attacking qualities. The boy is lightning quick and possesses the kind of ball control that Spaniards are famous for, as he ranks in the 97th percentile for pass completion percentage amongst fullbacks per 90, 97th for carries into the penalty area, and 95th for successful take-ons. And the kid has end product too, as he's racked up 5 assists in the league so far, the 3rd most of any player in the squad. And at just 5'8" and 150 or so pounds, there's obviously still room for him to grow and develop his game physically. But luckily for Alejandro, Xavi's system relentlessly maximizes the strength of his squad and covers up their weaknesses extremely well. And that's taken to the highest degree when we look at the rest of the back line. For years, Barca fans have been crying out for the next Puyol to show himself, and with Gerard Piqué retiring at the beginning of the season, the club needed it now more than ever. And Barca's prayers were finally answered, but not in the form of a Virgil van Dijk or a Ruben Diaz. No, their solution wasn't in the signing of just one player, but rather the fluid rotation and synergy of 3 to 5 defenders at once. Balde is joined in the back 4 by a center-back pairing of Chelsea loanee Andreas Christensen and future Uruguayan captain Ronaldo Araujo, as well as right-back hybrid Jules Koundé. Eric Garcia serves as the key center-back substitute, while veteran Sergio Roberto subs in on the right. Now at first glance, none of these names immediately scream world-class defender, and honestly neither of these players are particularly famous for their tackling ability either. But what each and every one of these defenders have in common is their ability to receive, distribute, and carry the football. And so Xavi devised a system where his defenders never have to tackle and prioritize keeping possession of the ball instead. While Barcelona's formation features a back 4 on paper, in reality Xavi's defense shapeshifts into a back 3, pushing Balde up the pitch until he's essentially a winger, which leaves the defensive trio responsible for build-up play. And we can see evidence of this when we look at their offensive numbers, as Christensen and Koundé rank in the 99th and 95th percentiles for completed passes amongst center-backs per 90, 98th and 96th for passes into the final third, and 97th and 93rd for total touches. Now Araujo isn't asked to spray the ball as often as Christensen and Koundé, as we can see by his percentiles here. But that's because he's the center back that Xavi trusts to carry the ball forward and take risks, as Araujo ranks in the 92nd percentile for progressive carries per 90, and 91st in both successful take-ons and total shots. Xavi's essentially taken the build from the back concept and put it on steroids. And I wasn't kidding when I said that this system means that his defenders never have to make tackles. As we can see here by all three defenders essentially sitting at rock bottom in tackles and interceptions, two metrics that most of us would consider crucial for defenders. Because they usually are for the ordinary team, but Barcelona are anything but ordinary. They're the living, breathing personification of the old saying that the best defense is a good offense, as the trio remain in complete control of possession and look to advance the ball to the middle of the park, where we find the next crucial part of Xavi's shape. Pablo Picasso once famously said, "Good artists copy and great artists steal." And it's only fitting that I use Spain's finest painter to draw a comparison between two giants of Spanish football. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City is responsible for one of football's latest trends, the box midfield. As the name suggests, the midfield is comprised of 4 players spread out in the shape of a box, with a double pivot base usually consisting of a defensive protector and a more creative but still defensively sound partner, or John Stones and Rodri in Man City's case. While the top of the box is occupied by your well-rounded number 8s, or the pairing of an 8 with a number 10. Think Ilkay Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne in Guardiola's setup. The box midfield gives the team a numerical advantage in the middle of the park, and allows for constant movement of the football between passing options. And so it comes as no surprise that Xavi would implement the box midfield in his own starting 11. As longtime servant of the club, Sergio Busquets operates as the more defensive base of the box. The best defense, good offense principle carries over into the midfield, and so Busquets is tasked with consistently receiving and distributing the ball across the field. He's completely press resistant and treats defenders like landmines, avoiding dispossession as if his life depended on it. But what makes Busquets so crucial to this shape is his positional discipline. After all, he's been operating in deep midfield for almost 20 years now, and as a consequence always knows exactly where he should be. His positioning gives his backline the cover they need, while also granting freedom to his pivot partner, Frenkie de Jong. It's been a tough time for Frenkie since joining Barca from Ajax, but this season everyone in Spain has been talking about de Jong for all the right reasons. He's Barca's midfield maestro and is responsible for controlling the tempo of the game. But what does controlling the tempo actually mean? Well, in Frenkie's case, it means that he has every pass type at his disposal, and is most frequently responsible for deciding how short or long Barcelona choose to play, which we can see by looking at the total number of passes completed by the Barca squad, with Frenkie sitting at the very top of the chart. De Jong is also a world-class ball carrier and possesses the pace and movement that Busquets doesn't, as demonstrated by him sitting in the 99th percentile for carries into the final third amongst midfielders per 90, 98th for total carrying distance, and 94th for total touches. Frenkie's ball carrying and Sergio's defensive solidity allow both Pedri and Xavi to focus on offensive duties at the top of the box midfield, as both number 8s are responsible for breaking the lines and creating danger higher up the pitch. Most elite clubs have at least one wonder boy starting in midfield that garners all the spotlight, but you'll always see them surrounded by respected senior players that have years of experience. Unless you play for Barca, where the most pressure is put on the underdeveloped shoulders of academy products, as we can see by taking a look at the average age of the current frontrunners and champions across the top 5 leagues. But the boys weren't just tossed into the starting 11 to meet an age quota, they earned it, as Pedri's technical ability is second to none, with the young man slowly adding more goals to his game as well. He just makes things happen, constantly occupying and delivering in dangerous areas, as Pedri ranks in the 99th percentile for through balls per 90, 96th for carries into the penalty area, and 92nd for shot creating actions. Xavi's numbers, on the other hand, don't exactly jump off the scouting report, but there's a good reason for this. Football teams don't attack equally on both sides of the pitch. There's almost always a preference to one side depending on personnel, and Barcelona is no different. Xavi just so happens to operate on the right side of a box midfield in a Barca team that builds from the left side more often, meaning that Xavi's overall attacking metrics look somewhat unimpressive compared to Pedri's. But the story of football can never be told by numbers alone. And Xavi passes the seeing eye test over and over and possesses exceptional technical ability in his own right. But his greatest and most underrated contribution to the team has to be his availability, as the 18-year-old has made more league appearances than any of his midfield partners, amassing the most minutes as a consequence. Barca's box midfield and back line work in unison to prevent the opposition from ever possessing the ball, which in turn prevents Barca from ever conceding. And although Balde bosses up and down that left-hand side, he's still an incredibly raw physical talent whose offensive skills aren't fully refined yet, which means Barca look to their right wing for a bulk of their goals and assists instead. Now, most teams are lucky to have one game-changing winger on their squad, but Barca have two and they both play the same position. So let's begin with the starter, Brazilian playmaker Rafinha. The 26-year-old winger is no stranger to the bright lights of the Blaugrana, as his family has a close relationship with Barca icon Ronaldinho, with the legend supporting Rafinha all the way through his career at Leeds United, the Premier League club Barcelona would sign him from in the summer of 2022 for a reported fee of 50 million euros. And he's been worth the investment, as he's currently Barca's second highest goal scorer in addition to leading the team in assists. Rafinha dominates the entire right side of Barca's attacking play, as illustrated by his heat map here, and uses his incredible attacking instincts to get on the end of chances, offering the athleticism and composure of a lethal forward. But Rafinha's strengths aren't limited to his offensive output. When Barcelona lose possession of the ball, their offensive playmakers initiate a press on the opposition ball carrier, and that usually starts with the Brazilian, as he ranks in the 94th percentile for tackles in the attacking third per 90 amongst forwards, 86 in total blocks and 82nd in interceptions. But he's not alone in his efforts on the right wing, with former wonder boy Ousmane Dembele serving as Barca's most crucial rotation player. The speedsters racked up 5 goals and 5 assists in just 20 league appearances, which is significantly less game time than Rafinha. In fact, the Frenchman has actually played over 600 less minutes than his Brazilian teammate. But unfortunately for Dembele, he picked up a serious injury at the end of January and has missed 17 games ever since. And it's a shame that Dembele hasn't been able to stay healthy, but Barca have been just fine without him. And that's in large part thanks to the most reliable player on the entire squad. Arguably the most lethal striker of the last decade, Polish poacher Robert Lewandowski terrorized Bundesliga defenses during his tenure at Bayern Munich, scoring a ridiculous 344 goals in 375 appearances, in addition to 72 assists. He got his move to Barcelona in the summer and hasn't missed a beat since joining, as he's made 29 appearances for the Catalan club and scored 19 in the process, on top of 6 assists too. Totals that not only place him at the very top of La Liga's scoring table, but also see him tied with Antoine Griezmann for most goal contributions in the league. And I meant it when I said he was Barcelona's most reliable player, as Lewa has clocked in the most minutes out of any outfield player in the entire Barcelona squad. And the veteran doesn't mind putting in some hard yards on defense either, ranking in the 86th percentile for tackles in the attacking third amongst forwards per 90, as well as 79th for dribblers tackled per 90. Lewandowski brings maturity, confidence, and crucial goal scoring to a team full of kids that benefit from his example. And before we wrap up, I need to give a shout out to Marc-Andre ter Stegen, their world-class goalkeeper. Now, it goes without saying that his clean sheet percentiles and save percentage are elite, but ter Stegen is also incredible with his feet, ranking in the 99th percentile in goalkeeper launch accuracy per 90. I feel like ter Stegen is unluckily overshadowed by league mates Thibaut Courtois and Jan Oblak, and backing up Manuel Neuer hasn't helped either. But he's another crucial reason why Barca are able to keep possession so well. And there we have it. Those are the players that Xavi trusts the most. The players who are collectively responsible for the single most impressive defense in the world. A group blessed with a balance of world-class veterans who watch over the future of football, as the once legendary player has successfully brought his legendary club back to the top of La Liga, one clean sheet at a time. And that's all I got for today, everyone. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and smash the like button if you want to see more video essays like these. And to all my Barca fans, something tells me you're gonna want to click right here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time.